Well, I'm not sure if it's a game or war, quite honestly. It was, you know, filled with a lot of emotions. You know, I'm just really proud of our players. It's extremely difficult to repeat as champions. And, you know, we've known everybody's going to give us their best shot all year. We knew today would be no exception. You know, a desperate man's a dangerous man. And, you know, we were dealing with a desperate man tonight. And we knew that, you know, but just, you know, reality's reality. You know, we're sitting where we're sitting, they were sitting where they're sitting. And, you know, so they did a great job. I commend them, but I also commend our players for fighting and hanging on, you know, quite honestly, because it was a tough game. It's a tough win. It's hard to win. We got a big win on a big stage, and we set ourselves up to have a chance next weekend to do something pretty special.
Got a question on the front right here.
John Martin, Waco Trip. Art, how's Briles doing, and would you expect that he'd have a chance to play next week?
You know, I don't have any clue about next week. You know, anytime you get a concussion, you know, it's a 3 or 4 day period before, you know, either cleared or not cleared. So we'll just go through the process, see what happens. You know, Seth came in and did a good job tonight. You know, the experience showed up on a couple of situations, but I thought overall, you know, I thought he came in some pretty pressurous situations and you know, controlled the football, did a really good job for us.
Another question on the front, and then we'll go over to the left.
Bryce Cherry, Waco Trib. Art, you mentioned Tech being desperate and dangerous. I mean, at the very start of the game, they come out with a trick play. They had a fake punt, onside kick. I mean, at that point, are you telling your guys, hey, we got to be ready for anything?
Well, we were telling them before the game because, you know, that didn't surprise us. We knew that those situations could occur. And, you know, like I said, if you're, like I said, I'll fight a man with 3 children in a nice house any day over somebody that's living out of the car.
Got a question on the front.
Art, Tim Griffin with the San Antonio Express News. I wonder if you can talk about Mahomes' performance tonight for Tech.
I thought he was really good. You know, he really had a good game. He's continually gotten better, you know, over the last 2 or 3 weeks. And, you know, tonight certainly was no exception. He played extremely well.
We got a question on the aisle. Chuck, while you're walking over there, we'll take one on the front. Hold on, Chuck. Go ahead. Go left.
Coach, Mike Wilson, Y Sports Radio. How much does losing a guy like Briles change your strategy and your play calling?
You know, it changes a little bit. We had to dial back a few things. Seth is extremely talented. But, you know, do we want to set him back there and let him go through some progressions, you know, that he does in practice in a game of this magnitude where we need to make first downs, you know. So it's a fine line to walk to how aggressive that, you know, we felt like we could be with him and still have the ability to, you know, stay in makeable down distance situations. So it changed a little bit. I thought Briles was playing really well when he took the shot. And, you know, I don't know, we had a little momentum then, and they seemed to gather some from then on. I think that was pretty evident.
Question on the aisle, and then we'll go across the aisle.
Chuck Carlton, Dallas Morning News. Art. Just curious how you talked about this being almost like a war out there. I was wondering how you saw the hit on Briles, because clearly it was flagged on that scene.
Yeah, you know, honestly, Chuck, I didn't see it, and I didn't look up and see it. I don't know if they played it on the replay. But, you know, when the ball's out, I'm looking downfield to see what the coverage is and, you know, where the ball's going. So I was unaware that he'd gotten hit until I flashed back and saw him on the ground.
Question on the left.
Larry Little, Baylor Insider. Coach, we're talking a lot about Briles' injury, but how much did not having Chafin in there, especially in the second half, hurt you?
You know, Chafin and Trayvon Armstead. I mean, you know, Trayvon's a critical part of our run game. And, you know, he went down early, and then, of course, Devin went down. I don't know what was the first quarter. I mean, it was early. You know, and he's kind of been a workhorse, you know, the last few weeks for us. So, yeah, I don't know what his prognosis is. You know, he's a dislocated elbow, I would think, you know, 3 weeks or so on that deal. But, you know, we'll see. But it definitely, you know, affects us in the run game a little bit.
Got a question on the left, and then we'll come back across the aisle.
Quinn Lowe, Sports Q&A. On the defensive side of the ball, you gave up some chunk plays. what are some things that you have to change before you get to Kansas State, even before the bowl game?
You know, I mean, we just got to be better. I mean, a lot of those plays were plays in the open field where it's a one-on-one matchup. You know, they made the play, we didn't. You know, pressure on the QB comes to mind. I thought he did a good job of you know, evading pressure and then, you know, throwing the ball up and letting his guys make plays. So that's, you know, it's really pretty simple. You got to make plays in space.
Question on the aisle, Chuck.
Art, I know you can only control what you can control, and you're probably already thinking of Kansas State right now. At the same time, you were up 25 points when Briles went out. It wound up being a 2-point game. How do you think people on the outside should look at this, and you know, people on the selection thing?
You know, I can't control that, Chuck, and you know that. I mean, I think how I would look at it is, you know, we hadn't done it yet. But to repeat as champions, I mean, it's happened one time in the Big 12's existence. I'm not sure Seattle is in the front running seat to repeat as Super Bowl champions. I don't think Auburn won the, you know, the SEC this year. Not sure Stanford won the Pac-12, and not sure Michigan State's in the Big Ten title game. I know Florida State and Baylor still have an opportunity to win their conference.
Question on the left, about halfway back.
Coach Charles Boyd, La Vida News. Just want to know, with the adversity in tonight's game, what do you take from tonight to prepare you for next week?
I just learned, you know, I mean, we got to regroup. It's late in the year. We've been going since August 4th. You know, everybody's mentally and physically, you know, worn a little bit as Kansas State is. But you know, the good thing for us is that we're going to be in McLean Stadium, and we're going to have a very active crowd as we did today. I thought our crowd was tremendous, and that's going to give us energy. That's going to give us momentum, and that's going to allow us an opportunity to win the football game against a really good Kansas State football team.
This could be the final question, then we're going to bring in some more student athletes and we're going to break out one-on-ones.
Jake Trotter, ESPN.com. Art, with Mississippi State losing today, the 4th spot in the playoff is up for grabs. If you guys beat Kansas State next weekend, should you guys be in the playoff?
I mean, we got to beat Kansas State, Jake, and you're a black guy, you know, and I don't know what your opinions have been throughout the year, but you know, we certainly know, like I mentioned earlier, it's hard to repeat as champions. I mean, did everybody want to beat Muhammad Ali or Leon Spinks? I mean, who were they after more? I'm thinking Ali. So I mean, that's the deal. And when you can do it, and we haven't done it, but if you do it, that hat you're wearing needs to have a feather in it, because it's hard to do. It's extremely hard to do. Bob, I appreciate you being here tonight, as always. Thank you so much.
Okay, guys.